Okay, welcome back to another video for our Java Enterprise tools here. I'm going to add a feature to this app. We're going to put in a top bar across here with a couple of buttons, one to show the index page and one to create a new item, and then that'll help us navigate around. So let's go and check it out. Let's go and look at our index page, and we're going to work here near the top, right above the data table. So right here above the data table, I'm going to insert a new div, and let's give it a class name for styling purposes. Let's call this thing, how about top menu? And then inside there we're going to put a couple of buttons. So our buttons are going to be inside a form. Remember, forms have to be around command buttons. And then the first button is a command button, and we want to send the we want to send it to the controller. Let's see, look at my methods that are here. Do we have something called show create form or show entry form? Doesn't look like it, so we're going to have to make one. So I'm going to call it show entry form, and the value is, let's see, I'm going to call it create a new object, a new thing. How about, all right, let's go create that method now. So that's in our form controller, and let's just keep adding on at the bottom here. This is a pretty simple one. So public string, and that was called show entry form. Now all I need to do is return the name of my form. So it's going to be entry form.xhtml. Don't have to worry about catching any values that are passed to it. It should just provide a navigation button, basically. So let's run the index and see if that'll work. So sure enough, create a new thing. Let's click it, and it gets to the entry form. So now it would be nice to have a button on every other page that will take us to the index, or our main menu page. So let's go back and re-engineer that same form. So let's copy the part that says form and the button inside of it. And this time, instead of a show entry form, we're just going to say show index form. How about show index? And the button will be called show everything or show all. So show index needs to be updated. Let's go into our form controller. I'm going to copy the previous guy. He was very similar to what we're going to do now. So this is called show index. And the file name is index.xhtml. Okay, so not too bad. That should work. Let's see what it looks like. Test it out. Okay, so there's a create new thing and show all. Well, sure enough, when you click show all, it comes right back to this exact same page. What happens if I'm on this form? I should have buttons there too. So I'm going to copy and paste the two buttons on top of my form here. Actually, I'd kind of like to have these buttons in the same form. So I'm going to copy him and paste him there. Delete the second form. I think that'll create them on a single line. So let's copy here, and let's go to the input in the entry form. Okay, so let's go into the body here, and let's paste it. And let's see, what's the other one? We've got an edit form, and let's put him up there. All right, so you should be yelling at me by now. You're saying, hey, Sluter, you're putting in code on multiple pages. Isn't there a better way to code it once and then reference it? And there certainly is. So that's called templating, and so we'll be doing that pretty quick here. But for right now, let's see if this works. We can have a navigation form on every page. So there we go. We got create a new thing, and there it is. We can do show all. Cool. Let's do an edit button. And we still got the same buttons. Let's do show all. So it looks like the menu bar is working. Now let's do a little bit of styling on that, and we'll be done with this video. So I'm going to go back into the CSS file, and let's do something about this class here. It's called top menu. And what am I going to do? First of all, I'm going to put a border around it. Let's do 1px, and let's call it solid. And I'm going to do a light color here, so I'm going to use CA. It's kind of a light gray. And let's do a padding of 5 pixels, and let's do a margin of 5 pixels as well. And a border radius, maybe of 3 pixels. So a slight curve. Okay, what does that look like? And it doesn't show up until I refresh, and there it is. So I got a little bar at the top. Now this might look better on a real web browser, so I'm going to copy this, and let's go into Chrome here and paste my work. And there is the real version of my page. Okay, so we're pretty much at the, as far as the functionality goes, this is kind of the end here. We're going to add a template so that the code of our header is done properly. But we've got ourselves an application that does all the CRUD applications. It has create and update and delete and select. And you've got a fully functioning app now that you can use as a model for future projects.